All right. Welcome back, GBA Nation, for another episode of the GBA show. Season 2, episode 3 already. We're excited to get, like I said, back getting this going this week, talking about the upcoming GBA season, and then bringing some, guests on the show with us that have been with us playing GBA, over the past however many years, and it's good to touch base with the coaches and that we haven't seen and we missed out last year, and kind of talk about the season, what they have going, and we're looking forward to a great 2021. Joined again with Jeff Ferguson, owner of GBA basketball. Jeff, how are we doing today?
Doing good. Great day. Getting some schedules done. Talking to coaches. That's what it's all about. We're finally getting back into this, and we got a great guest with Spencer on today, the Highest Sports Plus, and see what he's got going. He's really built that program up in Columbus, and it's been around for a long time. And he come in, several years ago as a coach, and then I think he took over the program several years ago. But it just keeps increasing with numbers, and they keep doing a really good job. So anxious to see what he's got playing. I know we talked to him several times last year during the pandemic. They didn't play as well. And, with us not having tournaments either. So they as a group didn't play. So we respect that and what they did, and see if they're how their numbers are, and talk to them about tryouts and the upcoming season.
Yeah. With that being said, our guest today is Spencer Giese. He's the AAU coordinator for the High Sports Plus program. We've got to know Spencer over the last, 5-6 years. He playing in GBA. He's been an avid supporter of GBA, and we appreciate that. He's done a great job with the program there. And let's get Spencer on here and hear what he has to say. Hey, Spencer, how we doing?
Hey, gentlemen, good to see y'all.
Yes.
Great to be on.
First, we just want to, say thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us on here, and we're just getting started with the show, season 2 of the show, and talking about the upcoming season, and I know there at Highest Sports Plus, you guys just had an announcement for some tryouts. So if you'd like to talk about that.
We did. And first of all, I'll talk about basketball any day of the week, any hour of the day. So this is not work. This is fun. We just. Beginning of this week, we posted our tryout schedule for our 2021 spring AAU season. We are a program that's been around since the late 90s. We have boys and girls teams. Today, we're going to talk primarily about our girls teams that we have. But really, those tryouts are just around the corner. We start 7th and 8th grade girls tryouts on the 13th of February. So we're about a week and a half out. We are excited. Online registration's open. All our times are online. Check out our webpage, www.ohiosportsplus.com, for all the details.
Yeah, and Spencer, you was one of the early ones we talked to last year about when we hit the pandemic, and unfortunately, you was right. I think I was wrong. We thought we would get back sooner, or get back into the get back to the season, or get the season started. And you had called it there right away. And obviously, unfortunately, you was correct.
Yeah, I didn't take any pleasure in that. And that's really, my day job at work in higher education. And we just had enough data coming in, and we were sending enough students home from college campuses all over the U.S. that I was unfortunately a soothsayer there and did not think we were going to be able to get basketball in. That didn't stop. I mean, we had full tryouts last year in February. We had all of our teams created. We had all our jerseys ordered. We were all set to play in GBA tournaments. And then, right there, what was it, mid-March, once schools closed down, it was over. And I'll tell you, we refunded every single family all their money. That was, for us, it was heartbreaking. For me, we had great teams set up, man. We had great coaching staff, great players. Tryouts went really well. It was a darn shame, but I know there's a lot of players out there in the community that are hungry for basketball, and it's going to be a great spring of having tryouts, getting to tournaments, seeing you all in person again, and getting back out on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about it. We got one weekend in, our very first weekend, and I remember down there in Dayton on Sunday of that event. I was down in Dayton, and coaches and people the rumbling started about, hey, maybe things are going to get canceled. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way. And then, of course, Jeff, had been talking to you and talking to different people, and he's like, I think it's a reality. And unfortunately it was. So,
we tried to take the route to be safe. And there was, tournaments that people went to in Indiana and different places, but that's not our area. So we just kind of stayed, we just wanted to be in Ohio and wanted to be able to play, and talked to several health departments, and it didn't work out. So, but we couldn't take the chance of getting somebody sick. And I'm not political at all. I'm not smart enough to be political one way or another, but we just wanted to do the right thing because your parents, your grandparents, the players, we didn't want to take any chances. And, we just prepared, and it gave us ideas for this year coming in. And for the next couple of years, we're going to implement a lot of new things, a lot of really cool things for the kids and for the teams. And I think it's really going to be exciting. So kind of gave us a reset, but now we're really chomping at the bit, ready to go here starting in March.
Completely agree. I feel that same energy and same excitement to do everything this year. You really value it more. I actually just wrapped up a junior high school coaching season, and I mean, we literally would talk about in our team huddles and our practices and our games, this could be our last game of the season. It could be our last practice, because you never know if you have a quarantine situation in your team and that wraps up your season. So you just had to treat every opportunity to play basketball like it was your last one you're going to get that school season. So it was, you really value it more. We're not going to take the spring for granted. We're not going to take a basketball game for granted again. And that's a great way to look at it, and a great perspective to have now.
Yeah, exactly. I had said that a lot last, over the summer. It was kind of a humbling experience for us here at GBA. You just take that stuff for granted. You're every weekend you're going to see different people. Things are going. You're running tournaments, and then all of a sudden now you're not seeing anybody. You're basically seeing them the way we're talking and communicating right now. And so you miss those in-person interactions and kind of the freedom to come and go as we used to do. But now, hopefully that we're kind of getting through it and over that hump, that we can get back to some normal life here in the next few months.
You still there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I agree. Spencer, talk to us a little bit about your background. Sure. And in what you're doing, since you're the AAU director or spring club director, I guess, for the club. And I know you've had that for several years. Kind of fill us in a little bit. It's a little different. I mean, you're not just a coach. I know you have a sports management degree and all that kind of stuff. So talk to a little bit about your coaching in the regular season, and then, for the school, and then also what you're doing with the High Sports Plus.
Sure. No, I'd love to. I mean, I once upon a time got out of undergrad. Initially, I jumped right into coaching in my free time once I was done with undergrad, and I've been coaching ever since. And I'm not going to tell you that was 15 years ago, because God, that makes me feel old. But I mean, I really enjoyed school basketball coaching for a number of years, and then when I was in Columbus coaching at a local school, I had a parent that said, "Hey, you should do whatever you want to do spring basketball." I said, I guess I would have some interest in that. And next thing I knew, I was volunteering to coach at a House Sports Plus, and I didn't know up from down, and got a team, and we started playing basketball. And that was really my first real jump into spring basketball. First year was a bumpy ride, definitely, eye-opening. It's a lot different than school basketball, a lot more presses, a lot faster paced. It's amazing what a tournament feels like when it's your first time in as a coach. Though I will say, thank God that first year we were having a terrible year, but we won the Thomas Worthington Classic. That was a great tournament back in the day, and that GBA win what somehow got me to come back and do it in 7th grade the next year, and I've stuck with it ever since. And through tryouts, put together some great teams, and ultimately just went up to Tony Resch, who's the owner of Ohio Sports Plus, was like, "Hey, I've got a master's in sports management. I love to coach, but I also would like to help you organize this more." And she had me take over the whole program in terms of organizing our tryouts, marketing it, parent communication, player evaluation, pretty much from the top down in the AAU ranks and the club ranks. So this is my 5th year doing that. It's a treat. I still coach in the program as well. I've coached in high school. We had a high school elite team that we had, and they are now almost done with high school and all summer in college, which also makes me feel old because that group I initially started with as sixth graders back in the day are now freshmen in college. So watching them, grow up over time, wow. And it's been great that the parents have been amazing too. Like working with these players that love basketball, that want to get better at it, working with parents who are just great to get to know and explore the community and find out more about Columbus and Ohio through the sport of basketball. It's been great. But really, with our tryouts now, I want our players that come to our tryouts to get that experience of what it's like to put your best foot forward. So yes, it's stressful. I know tryouts are stressful, but we're not a program that just taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, you made the team," or "Hey, we want you to play for our program." You have to come to tryouts. You make a team. You get evaluated, and these are all great life skills to experience as a player. So when you're in a career someday and you have an interview, you've already been in a stressful situation at some point. That doesn't say I want people to have bad experiences or have so much anxiety over them. It's just challenging yourself to do the best you can in a time frame where you have to perform. And I'll be honest, as a long time evaluator of talent, I can see it. I can see the it factor in a player. I can see potential in a player that might be raw and just needs some development, and find the right coach or the right system or the right team for them to play on, for them to have a great experience. And the time you put in these developmental, especially the junior high years, that comes back, and that's such a benefit because you see the growth, especially 7th to 8th grade, that transition, holy smokes, how much development there is, and you can start to tell who's putting time in playing spring basketball, who's putting the extra time. Right now we've got a bunch of players who didn't play spring basketball last year in programs all across Columbus. We've got kids who played school ball who had abbreviated seasons due to COVID, so maybe they got in 10 to 12 games. That's 3 GBA tournaments. So imagine that these kids that have practiced for 3 months, they've only played as many games as you're going to get in 3 weekends of GBA tournaments. By the end of March, if you make a team in February, the end of March, you could have already played as many games as they had their entire school season. So there's so much experience to get there. It's going to be exponential growth. We're going to see such development out of players that get to play in GBA tournaments this spring. So I thank you all for putting them on and for continuing to organize great tournaments.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. And we try to do the best we can. And obviously this year's still going to be a little challenge with moving some things around, and some schools will be open, some won't, but we've got pretty much, about every weekend covered that we're somewhere close to Columbus, close to Cincinnati and Dayton. So I think that, the teams are going to be happy with what you may have to travel an extra 15 minutes, an extra 20 minutes, extra half hour. In some cases that maybe we're not playing, having 4 or 5 tournaments a weekend, but we've got 2 or 3 tournaments. So hopefully it'd work out. But talk about how many, what's the grade levels that you're looking at? And then anything else you could add to.
We do tryouts, boys and girls teams. We have grades 4 through 11. Ultimately, we'll have 20 to 25 total teams. We do 10 players on a team, maybe 11, but we do at least 10. We're a program that's supportive of multi-sport athletes. There's a lot of value to that, especially at the youth levels, being able to use different muscle groupings, not burning out on a sport, different experiences, and the flexibility that spring basketball can offer when you're combining with another schedule. I just ask parents that have players that are in other sports, just communicate with the coach. Let them know what weekend are they out of town, what nights are bad for them. And our coaches really try to craft what nights are best for their practices to be, and they pick the tournaments. There's a lot of programs out there that they've already established. Here's when they're playing tournaments. That's not us. We establish our tournaments once we form our teams. And that way, my goal is if our teams play 6 tournaments, I want to make sure that all your players can at least attend 4 of those if they've got other conflicts. But yeah, I think for us, it's offering basketball to players who need the development, getting them into competitive tournaments, and again, seeing that exponential growth that we're going to see, especially those. And I'll tell you, the 4th, 5th, 6th graders, we've got our online registrations open right now. I can see the numbers come in real time, and there is such demand for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade basketball. There's a lot of players that didn't get much of a COBA season in. But it's similar with our junior high players that want more basketball, that just got a taste of it in their school season. So those players who are hungry for basketball, it's out there. It's to be had. Can't wait to see who comes to tryouts.
Yeah, you're exactly right. In talking to people especially over the last, month, kids are hungry. They want to play. A lot of kids have been, having, like you said, they don't get many games in. Some of them don't even get practice. They were totally shut down for weeks. And so I think you're right. The kids are, itching and ready to get back out, and they want to play, and they want to get started here in March. And hopefully, as things continue to move forward, we'll be fine with that.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Real quick. So, talking about tryouts, where, if someone is watching this and
Sure.
they have more information, things like that, where can they find that information for your tryouts?
Yeah, OhioSportsPlus.com has all of our tryout information. If you'd like to know where we're having tryouts, open up Google Maps, just type in Ohio Sports Plus. You'll see it's off Tuller Road in Dublin. We'd love to see a tryouts. You can walk in for tryouts. We are doing online registration, but honestly, it is a Google form. You can fill it on your phone. It's super easy. People can fill out that form as they attend. So if you're on the fence and you don't want to be committal until the day of, that's fine. You can walk in. Our tryout fee is $10, and our tryouts are for players who want to try to make teams. But we understand that you've got a decision to make. We don't offer on the spot. We offer in the days after the tryout, because we want you to digest how the tryout felt for you, and also we want the coaches to put together the best teams they can out of the players who tried out. So you're not going to get tapped on the shoulder in the middle of the tryout, hey, you made the team. Like, you will not find that out until after you leave the premises, and then you get contacted by the coach in the days following.
That's great.
And John will put all of that information at the bottom of this post when this video comes out. But briefly, and I think that with Ohio Sports Plus, they have, yes, you have your teams and some other things, but maybe could you, I know they've been around since 1997, and that's a long time. Tell them some of the benefits, maybe not only with the teams and the practices, but with Tony, what Tony does, a little bit of Tony's background, and a little bit of what she offers, to a lot of the players, maybe that's on those teams, with training and some other things that maybe other places don't get.
Well, I think, and yesterday was National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And what an amazing day. Ohio Sports Plus is woman-owned. Tony Resch is our founder of Ohio Sports Plus, former point guard at Ohio State. Absolutely amazing career there. Great career at Bishop Hartley. And she does lessons. She leads workouts for players. She definitely comes to our sessions and interacts with players who are on our teams and checks us out, comes to some tournaments. And really, it's an open door to work with her and connect with her more. Tony, expert ball handler teacher, expert shot teacher. Tony's got the way of teaching and shooting that now I've been around long enough time. I can see the minute someone has taken lessons with Tony, I can see them shoot the ball, be like, they've worked with Tony. And that is a sweet, pure swish of a shot. It's pretty incredible. But that's one of those things when you look at, local business that, woman owned and been around and been in this situation for, almost 25 years. How about that? There's a lot of programs that pop up here and there where it's like, oh, it's a new program. Oh, it's a new program director. I would say at Ohio Sports Plus, you've got something that's tried and true. We've done it for years. We continue to hone the experience and make it better. And we've got a lot of experience in that.
Yeah.
Just some of the things that, you got to benefit that. You got a former, Ohio State player, former, Division I player. That's huge for the training aspect and some of the things that she's offered, and she's been around.
And she is, if you've ever listened to Ohio State women's basketball on the radio, you hear Tony Resch's voice. So she's the radio voice for Ohio State women's basketball. She also does men's MAC broadcast. So maybe you hear an OU game and you hear Tony Resch on that. So she's still plugged into basketball to this day, has college connections left and right. And she's got a number of players that she's trained that are playing collegiately that come back. The minute they get an off season, they come back and get a workout on with Tony to refine what they're doing. So hats off. She's been doing this a long time. It's an honor just to get to work with the AU program for her.
Yeah, that's great. And congratulations to you on the success. And I know you don't like to brag, but over the several years that you've taken over, the program has continued to grow. And I know, last year that was probably going to be your biggest year. And each year you continue to grow. And, you're to be commended for all the work that you put into and get all these, the players and the families a chance and an opportunity to get better at the game of basketball.
Well, and we can only do it if there's tournaments in the area. So, guys, thank you. You provide the games, we provide the teams. It's a win-win. And at the end of the day, we try to play most of our tournaments within an hour radius of Columbus, just because we know we've got a lot of parents who, whether it's multi-kid families or family dynamics where we can't be going 3, 4, 5, 6 hours for tournament. Great. We're great program fit. Whether you're multi-sport, multi-kid, whatever that is, the ability to go to a game site and have a couple games on a Saturday, go home, sleep in your own bed that night, and then Sunday go back to the game site and play some more games. That's great for our program. That's kind of what we're all about.
Absolutely.
All your social media sites, your website, all that kind of thing. That way they get a hold of you.
It's Ohio Sports Plus, Ohio Sports Plus, Ohio Sports Plus. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the World Wide Web. Thank God there's nobody who's copied Ohio Sports Plus and has the same name, except for that Sports Plus facility in Cincinnati. But
Yeah.
Yep. That's a facility, so it's a little different, but
it is. But we are. You can find us on the social medias. Reach out. Best way to contact us, if you got an email question, basketball@ohiosportsplus.com. You can email that. I'll answer that for you. But thank you for taking the time to talk with me today, so we could highlight a few things we're doing this spring. Again, Tryout start February 13th. The schedule's online. Get in, try out. Let's put some spring teams together. Let's go play basketball.
And I think it's good for them to try out. Maybe who knows what you come to a place and you meet some friends and you meet some players, coaches that you may connect with. It's good to try out. Maybe if you're set on another team, try out a couple teams. Go to a couple of different things. And the pressure, you're not putting pressure on them. You're letting them decide where they want to be. And I think it's not a spur of the moment thing. And I think that's perfect for the kids to kind of see where they fit in.
And those players in the Columbus area that are coming together to come to try out, to play on a team, they find themselves as high school opponents quite often. And there's a great camaraderie where, some of those closest connections we see happen in spring basketball. I'm sure you see this all the time. It's that whole concept of you're hanging out for a weekend together. And that's a lot different than being with the school kids that you go to school with every day, you practice with for 3 months straight.
Yeah.
You get such a great dynamic of different players from different schools and, a great mix. And those are some relationships that stay together forever. It's cool to see as a coach.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Spencer, we will get all that information when this video posts. We'll get all that information up, contact information for you. And again, we appreciate all the support you've given GBA over the years and the continued support. And we look forward to seeing you in person, very soon out there on the court. All right. Take care.
Thanks,
take care, Spencer. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.
All right, guys. So another great show there. Spencer does a great job with Ohio Sports Plus. They've been great supporters of GBA, and we appreciate that over the years. So if we'll make sure that you have all their contact information. If you're interested in tryouts or how to reach them, we'll get that on this link as well. So everyone take care. God bless. And, the registration is wide open. They've been coming in. I know Jeff can speak on this as well. Ton of registrations have been coming in. So make sure you get that stuff in as soon as possible because our events will sell out.
Yeah, they need to get signed up, and it's not a marketing tool. They could, if you don't get in, but we can't guarantee you spots. That's the biggest thing. And, GBAbasketball.com, easiest place to register. If you need to call us, you could call the office. We're not there. We have our cell phones with us at all times. We're available, not just 9 to 5. Call us in the evenings, mornings, whenever you can. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We're busy trying to get everything set up, but we do have, a lot of tournaments set up every weekend, starting March 6th weekend, I believe is where we're at. 6th or 7th weekend, whatever that is. And, so check us out, register GBAbasketball.com. We will sell out. Most of our tournaments sell out anyway. But unfortunately this year, I think there's going to be a couple less tournaments. So there's going to be more teams looking to play.
Yep. All right. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.